And welcome to a Thursday night edition of the OHIO podcast. I'm your host, Buckeye Boggs, aka the Podfather, and you are you. And we are thankful you decided to join us this evening to take part in the festivities that will be a ruckus show here on the OHIO podcast. Hey, if you listen to the podcast right now on any of these fine devices that you can download the OHIO podcast through, we appreciate you taking the time to listen to us. You can take us anywhere you go, on the road, to the gym, to the office. Just throw us on there and put your earbuds in, and you can listen to us rant and rave about college football and the OHIO podcast here on the OHIO podcast. Joining me this evening, that is my co-host, the Wild Man, Chris Wilds. The King Buckeye himself, Alex Bryan, is with us, and King Kong Bart, Buckeye Bart's with us tonight. Welcome, gentlemen. It's good to have each and every single one of you with us. Chris, we'll start with you. Where can people find you, and how you doing?
Well, I'm okay, I guess. It's been a rather long day. Wrapped up a day at school about, I don't know, an hour ago. Uh, yeah. And then, of course, I'm here. It's my wife's birthday, so you can imagine the flack I'm catching from that. But I told her I got to be here. I got to be here for all the podcast listeners. So she's just going to have my second fiddle today. Not true at all. She absolutely gave me her blessing. I wouldn't have been here without it, so happy birthday to my wonderful wife, Bobby. And where can people find me? Well, you can find me right here on the OHIO podcast. You can find me on X at the Wildman97. You can find me on Facebook at Christopher Michael, and I'm sure there's about 4 or 5 other places you can find me, but I don't know what the hashtags or the names or whatever you call these things are, so I'm there. You look for me, you'll find me.
Alex, tell everybody how you doing tonight and where they can follow you at.
I'm doing great. NFL Combine stuff starting up. Sonny Styles is killing it out there, and so are the other Buckeyes. Excited to see that. Excited to see where these guys land come April. And you guys can find me, Alex Bryan, of course, on Facebook, and I use my Xbox gamer tag for everything else. You just like at FlyDog92 on Twitter, all that good stuff, Instagram. So.
And Bart, how are you this evening, and where can people find you at?
I am doing great. It's like I told you before. It's like me being a child amongst great Ohio State adults here. So I feel like the small child at the adults table with you guys. But other than that, it's just my name, Bart Dennison, on Facebook, and I interact with there quite a bit with messages and everything. But other than that, I don't really get too much involved in things other than the Ohio podcast. So.
Tyler wishes your wife a happy birthday, Chris.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much.
Happy birthday, Bobby.
Is she 25 or 26?
21.
She is 21.
21.
Eternally.
Yep.
As long as you haven't been dating her for 4 years, we should be okay. So.
Yeah.
Well, we've been married for, I don't know, let's see, going on, my gosh.
Oh, not good.
Oh, no.
I'm old and I
Not
have to do
good.
the
Come
math.
on.
No, I'm
Not
old and I
good,
have to do the
sir.
math.
Hopefully she's not watching.
It is. It will be
Cardinal sin.
16 glorious years next month.
There you go. There you go. Saved it, sir.
Man.
I'm
right.
old. I have to think about these things now.
Eric, are you feeling better, by the way?
Yeah, I feel much better. I just got this residual cough. Everybody in the house has it. I don't know.
It seems like it goes away and then comes back.
Yeah, so.
Are you feeling better, Chris?
No, I'm actually getting worse.
Yeah. My superintendent said the exact same thing. He went through it for about a week and then it got worse this second week on it. So
yeah.
Well, we have a very interesting topic for you guys tonight. Tony Alford is up to it again. He is the king of gaslighting. I don't feel sorry for Michigan fans. I don't feel sorry for you guys. I'm sorry. I don't. You guys, you are taking this hook, line, and sinker. Again, you're listening to what he's talking about, what he's saying. You're glumming onto it. You're sitting there and you're slurping it all up one more time again. Ohio State fans are sick of this guy. We were sick of this guy before he even left Columbus. He's gaslighting you once again. What am I talking about? Well, let's dive into it. Tony Alford calls the new U of M offense wild and unlike anything he's seen. I have the exact quotes for us. Let's just dive right into them and read them to you all so that you can see them. Here is the first one I'm going to read to you. You know, for me, it's kind of wild when a new staff comes in. I've been a part of those transitions before in 32 years of coaching. Highlight that, underline that. 32 years of coaching. And if you're one of the lone holdovers, you kind of look like you kind of get leprosy a little bit. But these guys, they've been phenomenal. Like, hey, what do you think? What about this? And they've had a highly productive offense where they're coming from. And so when I'm trying to give some input, I say, yeah, well, what about this? They're like, well, yeah, that makes sense. This sounds like a high school girl wrote this. Or no, we've done it this way, but is there a better way? And so they've been very receptive. They're just ball coaches, right? We just want to get better. And they've been great and really good staff, and I'm very impressed. Okay, that's the first quote. Now, on the surface, there's nothing about that quote that is controversial or gaslighting or anything. He's just saying, hey, I was the guy that kind of left over from the last staff that is still here. And I've been a part of this before, and that's an uncomfortable place to be. I get that. Okay, I understand where he's coming from with that. If he just stops right there, it's fine. We're good, right? Like there's nothing else that would be like, oh, you know, that's not controversial, Eric. What are you talking about? But then he goes on, he continues. Here we go. This is where it starts to get interesting. Yeah, it's wild because they call it, I've never seen it. Talking about their offense. I'm like, wait a minute. What are you doing here, right? But the more I've studied it in constant conversation with the staff, I love it. The way it pieces together, I think it's very user-friendly to learn, especially that it allows young players to get up and play fast. Man, it's wild. You know, he goes on to say, this offense is like nothing he's ever seen before. I have a question for everybody. Is Bugs Bunny playing over in Ann Arbor this year? Is he throwing the football and catching it? Like, are they running a 15-man personnel? Are they going 5 linemen, 5 tight ends, and a quarterback? Is it like nothing you've ever seen before? Are they playing 3 running backs? Is the quarterback literally just a running back now? And they've got no wide receivers on the field. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. This is ridiculous, guys. This is unbelievable. It's wild. It's like nothing. You've coached for 32 years, Tony, and you mean to tell me that this offense that's come from Utah over to Ann Arbor is like nothing you've ever seen before in your life? Spare me, dude. Stop gaslighting everybody. It is not, you are not reinventing the wheel with this new coaching staff. This is him sucking up to this new coaching staff, number one. And number two, it's him gaslighting the entire Michigan fan base. It's exactly what this is. Do I have to remind everybody what he once said about the last coaching staff? I think I do. I think I do. I think I need to remind everybody. This was him a little over a year ago. Yeah, this place, this Block M is amazing. And it's different. And it's blocking me, so now I can't read it. I have to actually pull it up on my computer. Let's see. Here we go. And it's one thing to say it's different. I know everyone's going to say, every school you go to, the coaches say, we're different. We're different. I think the young men and our family need to come here to experience it. This place is different. I think the people are different. I think our staff is different. Our head coach, dang sure, is different. Y'all remember who he's talking about here, right?
Oh
Sharon
yeah.
Moore. He's talking about Sharon Moore, how different he is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he was different, Eric.
And I think when young people sit there, and especially with him, when they sit in a room with him, they walk out like, yeah, that guy's a real one. He's a real OG, ain't he? That's not the overbearing. There's not the pretentiousness and the clicks. This place is just different. That is what he said a little over a year ago, ladies and gentlemen, about Sharon Moore and about Michigan. You mean to tell me the same guy who said this is trying to convince me that all of a sudden this Michigan offense is like nothing we have ever seen before? He's totally gaslighting everybody, Chris.
Yeah, and Underwood is a freshman like we have never seen before. And this offense is something like we have never seen before. First of all, give it up. Stop repeating the same line over and over again. Nobody believes at this point you've lost all credibility with that line. Secondly, what is it we've not seen before? Because let's look at who they've brought in, shall we? I mean, they brought in Kyle Winningham from Utah, which, don't get me wrong, great coach. I love him as a coach. But he is about a strong run game. What's different about that from what Michigan's wanted to do for the last 150 years?
It's a different formation to it. That's all it is.
You know, multiple formations. What's different about that and anything anybody else in the game is doing right now? Nothing. Heavy motion. Everybody does it. You want to talk about creating mismatch issues? Everybody does it. But guys, he thinks that these are offensive geniuses. And if you look historically, and again, not to discount Winningham and what he did at Utah. Last year, his offense did rank 4th in the country. Prior to that, 72nd, 100th. Got a top 20 finish in 2022 and a top 30 finish in 2021. But then we slid back to 111th in 2020. 32nd in 2019. I mean, guys, nothing about that screams out to me that you're going to have a top 5 offense doing basically the same daggone things that you did under Sharon Moore, that you did under Jim Harbaugh. The one thing you're doing different is you've got a fairly honest coach in there who's not going to cheat. That's the only thing you're really doing different. That's what you've never seen before out of Michigan. The fact is, there's nothing different going on. This is just Alford being Alford. Like you said, Eric, he's kissing the backsides of the people who control his career destiny. He's sucking up and telling the fans what they want to hear, which just creates more arrogance and ignorance among that fan base, which is the last thing they need. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And nobody in their right mind should even consider buying into his mess.
Yeah. Like Chris said, Underwood's the freshman that we haven't seen before. He's going to own Ohio. He's already owned one. I mean, we've heard this story before, right? And you look at who Alford is coached under. I mean, he was at Notre Dame with Brian Kelly. They went to a playoff or two in his tenure there. No, I'm sorry. They went to the national title game once during his tenure there.
Should have been Ohio State though.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Then he comes to. Well, honestly, Ohio State should have played Notre Dame in that Natty. Bama should have been left out, but
You're correct.
but then of course the year after we win the Natty, he comes to Ohio State. He gets to coach under Urban Meyer, and then he gets to coach under Ryan Day. And then, of course, after the 03 season, he goes to the team up north and pulls a Benedict Arnold. So he's been in a part of some pretty high-powered offenses before.
Yeah, I've got the stats. I'm going to bring you out some stats here
Yeah.
after you and Bart talk. Yes,
So
it's ridiculous.
it blows my mind after what we saw from them in 2024 and 2025 that he thinks that this is going to be like the best thing he's ever been a part of. It's going to be better than what they had the last 2 years.
Has to be.
They got Underwood a quarterback coach. That can only benefit them. He does have an offense that at some years at Utah has been efficient. We saw what it did to granted an historically bad Ohio State defense, but we saw what that offense is capable of doing at Utah. He's going to have at worst the same amount of talent at the team up north, maybe slightly better because they recruit better, but it's what's so different about it? And I mean,
It's like nothing he's ever seen before.
right. If they can go out there with that schedule that they got and go like 9-3 or better, I'll believe it then. But if they go 8-4 like I feel they will, or worse, then what is it really? It's the same old mess. They're going to run a lot. That's what they are. They're not going to deviate from that. I don't see Bryce Underwood improving like by 100% or even close to that to make that offense more efficient in the pass game. They still don't have wide receivers worth a damn. So it's going to be the same thing, just slightly better. And I think they'll rank in like, I don't know what team up north ranked in offense last year. I think it was in like the 40s or something like that. They'll probably rank in like the 30s. But is that really wild? Is that really like anything you haven't seen before? Really? I don't know.
No, I haven't seen anything like it either. But guess what? I can go to YouTube or go to watch their games. So I can figure it out pretty fast because you're not going to change to your philosophy once you come to a new school. What you know, and if you do it really good, that's what you're going to have. But he's like a guy dating a daughter, and you're sucking up to the father because you really want him to like him. He's the only holdover. So what else is he going to say? But he kind of contradicted himself because you can't say that these new players coming in are going to get up and play fast. The only way you play fast is if you know the playbook. And if it's anywhere complicated whatsoever, a freshman's not going to pick that up right away. It's got to be super vanilla for you to pick it up and play fast, unless you've been in there for 2 or 3 years. So them to say, oh, we're going to, the young Chargers are going to play fast, that's not happening unless they know the offense like the back of their hand. And they're not thinking. If they have to think, they're not playing fast. And you can't have a complicated offense. The other thing is you can have the greatest coach in the world. If you don't have a quarterback to run that system, you're not going to be that good. I don't believe in Underwood be able to make a 3rd down and 10 pass to the boundary or something like that. I don't believe that. They are going to be able to run the ball, but if you're one-dimensional and not be able to consistently pass, you can have the greatest offense in the world. It's not going to do anything. So he's completely gaslighting, and I liked your open monologue. You kind of got intense there, Eric.
Well, I'm going to get a more intense because I'm going to show you where he's lying. I want to prove it to you.
Real quick, Eric, before you do, Alex, they were 62nd in offense last year.
I gave them way too much credit then. That's probably what they were the year prior too. They've been putrid offensively, and I mean we saw 2 good Utah years in his tenure there, right? When they won the Pac-12 back-to-back years before they ended up moving, and even in those years they lost like what 3 games, 2-3 games, and they didn't make a college football playoff, and they didn't make a 12-team college football playoff twice in a arguably much easier conference, because when they were in the Pac-12 those last 2 years, that conference was like loaded. That was tough. Michael Penix at Washington, like USC was doing decent.
Oregon was good.
Oregon was good.
But the Pac-12 and the Big 12, neither one of those teams or conferences
played defense.
Yeah. So it's like you're in a defensive conference now. It's going to be real interesting to see if Kyle Whittingham can even stay afloat.
All right, so if we're going to talk about how explosive your offense is, how wild it is, right? How do you judge whether an offense is really, really good or not. I think the stat to highlight is yards per play. There's a lot of things that can happen when you get down to the red zone, so I'm not just going to say how many points per game are you scoring. I want to know yards per play because that takes into account both passing the football and running the football.
Yeah.
All right. Here is Tony Alford's statistics as a coach since 2015. And by the way, the coach he's talking about when he's talking about the offense is Jason Beck, the new offensive coordinator, who was offensive coordinator last year at Utah. All right.
Yeah.
Utah averaged in the Big 12 last year, in a year that was supposedly magical for them. How great this Jason Beck offense is. They averaged last year at Utah 6.5 yards per play. Okay. Now, compare that to Michigan last year that averaged 6.1 yards per play. So 4.4 yards more at Utah than Michigan a year ago. And then in 2024, his first year at Michigan, they were only 4.7 yards per play. That was bad. Still can't believe we lost that football game. However, go back to 2015. 6.3 yards per play at Ohio State. Who was on that team? That was Cardale Jones, JT Barrett splitting the quarterback, and Zeke at running back. And I didn't put wide receivers in the graphic. I just put running backs because he was running back coach.
We know.
2016, all right, JT Barrett and Mike Weber, 6 yards per play. Now, 2017, JT Barrett and J.K. Dobbins, they jumped up to 6.9 yards per play. Can anybody tell me what happened between 2016 and 2017?
We got smart and fired Ed Warner.
Who did we get as a quarterback coach?
Ryan Day.
Ryan Day all of a sudden joined the staff in 2017. 2018, 6.6 yards per play. Dwayne Haskins, J.K. Dobbins, Mike Weber in the backfield. Okay. That was Urban's last year, right? 6.6 yards per play. There was also Dwayne Haskins basically reset all the passing records that year.
Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace, Simba. 2019, back up to 6.9 yards per play. That was Justin Fields, J.K. Dobbins. I didn't include 2020. I didn't even look it up. I don't care. It was a COVID year. I'm not even. Why even try to?
It would have been decent. It
probably somewhere in the middle sixes somewhere. Probably. Yeah. It was literally. 2020 would have been Justin Fields' second year, so the stats probably were pretty good.
Justin Fields with the revolving door of injured running backs, Master Teague, Trey Sermon.
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins had a good year too, did he, in 2020? Or was he gone already?
J.K. was gone.
He was gone already. Trey Sermon, that's right. 2021. All right. Check out this. Look at the bump on yards per play. 8 yards per play in 2021 with Stroud and Travion Henderson.
Hey, Eric, I just looked it up. It's 7.3 for 2020.
Again, a great number.
That's with 8 games. So
yeah, I didn't even include it because it was COVID. Whatever. Yeah. 2022, 7.3. Stroud, Mayan Williams. 2023, 6.4. Kyle McCord, Travion Henderson, and then he bolted. You mean to tell me that the coach who was running the running back room at Ohio State from 2015 to 2023, who saw an offense that had 8.0 yards per play in 2021, 7.3 yards per play in 2022. And you mean to tell me that this Michigan team this year under Jason Beck is like nothing he's ever seen before? He is lying to Michigan fans. He is lying to you. He is gaslighting you. Wake up. He feeds you a line of bull. He's been doing it ever since I've heard the man speak as a coach when he's interviewed. He is feeding you a line of bull. And we have a Michigan insider I will share with you in a minute who tells us such. That is exactly what he's doing.
They're honest? They're being a Wolverine insider being honest about it?
There's a few out there, Alex.
There is one who came. Yes. I will share with everybody in a little bit. Chris, your response to these stats, man, on yards per play.
Well, I don't think that the response is necessary. I think it's obvious. I think it's obvious. The guy is a liar. He's an idiot. He is, like you guys said, gaslighting this fan base, trying to convince them of something, or trying to convince the coaches. Maybe he's trying to convince the players. I don't know. Hell, he could be trying to convince himself. He could be lying to himself at this point. But for anybody to think that this team is going to be, I think, honestly, I think for anybody to think this is going to be inside of the top 40 is absolutely insane. Here's the problem. Yes, you've got some decent new coaches, but unproven at this level. Because the fact is, I said it earlier and I'll say it again: the Pac-10 and the Big 12, or the Big 12, or Pac-12 and Big 12 do not play defense. Never have, never will, outside of a few select teams. And I'd like to see what the numbers were against those teams. And also, you've still got the same roster. The fact is, the players didn't change. The players might get moderately better with the new coaching staff, but these guys aren't going to go from the 62nd best team in the country offensively to a top 25 team in the country offensively in one season. They're just not. Yes, they've got some talent. They don't have enough talent. Let's face it, they got one wide receiver.
Yeah. This barely at that. Look what he did against us. Nothing.
Right.
This whole graphic just makes me angry because this just fully proves that they cheated against us. The 21 and 22. Like, there's no way that if the playing field is level and they don't know every play we're going to run before we run it, that they beat us this year. Those two offenses are just too good to lose to a team like that, even if they were better than previous year Team Up North teams. There's just no shot, and it just makes me so mad because Stroud was robbed of a legacy, and I was a big Stroud hater at the time because I didn't know they were cheating, and then I had to come out and apologize to him on my show when I was doing it at the time. I said, "Boy, I owe him an apology. He was getting cheated against the entire time." It just blows my mind that we were racking up that many yards per play on average and lost those games, especially when they were so close in the fourth quarter. But they won't be in the 60s this coming year. They should improve with him, with Kyle Whittingham as their head coach, and obviously having a quarterback coach now. They should improve. I think they'll be somewhere in the 40s. Obviously, they're going to still be super run heavy. They're going to try to elevate Underwood in the throwing game. How much that'll happen remains to be seen. We'll see, obviously. But they'll be better. But they're not, like Chris said, they're not going to sniff the top 25 offensively. They'll be like a top 10 rushing offense, probably, for sure. Passing offense, probably in like the 60s or something like that. And then that'll average out in a top 40 overall offense. But don't expect anything super supreme out of that. They'll probably average around 6 yards per play around 2025.
No, maybe he's talking about the last 2 years because he didn't see any offense their last 2 years for them.
Yeah.
But I think you put Kyle Whittingham in the offensive coordinator, you can have plays that work against teams that Utah played. But back in the day, we could never compete with the SEC because they had such elite speed. And until we started recruiting nationally and getting that speed, now they can't keep up with us. I don't think Whittingham or his offensive coordinator is seeing the speed that they're going to face this year. I'm not just talking about Ohio State, but in the Big Ten in general. Big Ten is such much different than what they came from. But you can have the greatest offense in the world if your offensive line is good. If they don't have that, I don't know what they're going to do, but you can have the greatest design ever and a great coach, but you have to have the players to execute it. But you can't tell me in February, less than 2 months, 3 months from them getting in there, they've got all this offense down. And you know what makes me think that he's completely lying? They're asking him advice about offense.
Yeah.
Right?
They're asking
Ding.
offense. It's like
Ding.
these offensive geniuses he's never seen anything like it, or asking Tony Alford for advice on what do you think? And he says, well, I think we should do that. Well, you know what? That's a good idea. Oh my gosh, we never thought about that. It's almost like a Saturday Night Live skit that he's doing right now in his head. But that is the one thing that I thought that he's completely lying, because there's no way that he's going to offer advice that, well, I've never thought about that before, Tony. You're such a great guy. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's just asinine.
RDCB puts a comment in the chat. Michigan and Oregon is going to be a game to watch. I don't think so. I think Oregon beats them by at least 3 touchdowns minimum.
Here's the thing about Tony Alford, right? That they herald this guy as like a recruiting god right now.
Mm-hmm.
When that foundation was set recruiting wise at running back before him. Mike Hart was getting great guys too. He just gets to sit back and smoke his little cigars, and he's like, well, I coach here. We do great with running backs. You want to come here? And people say, yeah, sure. And, and they say, oh, Ohio State fans, they were lying about this guy. He's such a great recruiter. He's not. He's just at a place where running backs are going and having success, and he can that's all he has to sell at that point.
If he's such a great recruiter, he went 1 year without recruiting one running back. You all remember that?
Yes.
He
we
whiffed.
Bijan Robinson right in the palm of our hand,
and Knightley from Miami. Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
I'm not gonna down on him for recruiting, because we've had some pretty good running backs during his tenure.
We have, but you can't go an entire cycle without getting at least one running back.
But the same thing, Bart. But the same thing, we already had that established beforehand.
Correct. You're coming off of Zeke. You're coming off of J.K. You're coming off of
Carlos Hyde.
B.E. Wells.
We were fine.
Well, he got Travion Henderson, so I think he's good just for that, because I really like that guy. But I agree. He's taking credit for other people's work, and I don't think he's that elite. So
yes.
It's one thing to recruit them, but can you develop them? That's a whole nother ball of wax. And I'll tell you right now, I've watched both these guys coach. I've watched Tony Alford coach before, and I've watched Coach Locke coach now in person too. Both of them very closely.
Give me Coach Locke any day.
I'll take Coach Locke any day of the week. Yeah, I will.
Me too.
So if why did it take Ryan Day so long to get rid of him then? Tell me that. I mean, if he, I'm not saying he's
complacency.
Great,
Younger coach. He's younger. I think he looked at what Tony Alford had done, and he thought it's good enough. But obviously, over time, who Tony Alford is as a coach and as a person wore on Ryan Day, and they obviously conflicted with one another. Yeah. Because in that same quote I read to you, where he talks about how great Sharon Moore is and how great the culture is at Michigan, he goes on to slam Ohio State, if you all remember that quote and remember that interview.
He said it's a better place here.
Yeah, it's so much better. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You're the only one left, apparently.
Yeah.
Check this out, guys. This is from our insider Vader. So he always asks me, what are you going to be talking about today? I said, I stumbled on this. I go, I'm diving into it, and the more I'm diving into it, the angrier I'm getting. And he goes, hold on, I've got an insider. Let me go talk to them, and then I'll get back with you. I was like, cool, that sounds great. So then he goes and he finds he contacts his insider, and this is what his insider told him. After you told me about Tony Alford claims, I decided to contact my Michigan informant. She confirmed Tony is living up to his name. Willingham is installing the same Utah offense he has used for the last 20 years, just with a few new wrinkles to simplify things for Underwood. I found that interesting.
Yeah.
It is not a state-of-the-art wide-open offense. It's the power spread. So much so, 90% of the play came in Utah's binder was copied and put in a Michigan binder, as I told you, Eric. The day Whittingham was hired, he is a system guy, and that's not going to change after 2 decades. Sorry, TTUN fans. If you want to see your offense, watch Utah the last 20 years. Then my informant gave me a nugget. Underwood and several other key players are under severe probation for multiple team violations. That's an exact quote.
That proves that Underwood was probably a part of that
The
smoking
hot boxing.
sesh.
Yep.
You know what? It's going to surprise me is if they are actually giving discipline whatsoever. Nothing's going to happen. They're probably going to miss some time, but no games, nothing that a normal fan would ever see.
You
Not
know
going to
what?
happen.
They'll pick. They'll get to pick their games, like Sherman
Yeah.
Moore.
I don't think they'll be out any games at all.
Here's the thing. I think this right now is what he does right now defines what Kyle Whittingham is gonna do as a Michigan
100%,
head coach.
100%.
How he handles this is going to define who he is as a Michigan head coach. Is he going to be the guy we think he is, who is the stand-up disciplinarian, going to take charge and clean up this program guy, or is he just going to maintain the status quo? It all comes down to how he handles these situations.
And I really don't think that a system coach is your best coach. If you have a system you can run, you've got to change that offense around to who you have. You know, a stand back pocket passer is not going to do good with an offense with Underwood running it. But if he's a system guy, he's ran for 20 years. You've got to adapt sometimes of the caliber of players you have. So just saying that, hey, this is the playbook and we're going to do it. I don't know if he has a team for that. But
he's an old head, so of course he's
he
stuck in his ways. And I mean, yeah, I'm sure they put a few new wrinkles in for Underwood and stuff like that. But it'll probably look a lot like what Urban ran with JT and stuff like that. That's probably exactly what it's going to be.
Are you saying that Chris is stuck in his ways because he's an old head, or what's going on? Okay,
all three are.
Oh, hey.
On most topics, Alex, but I can see the direction of the game of football.
Yeah, for sure.
And where the college football is going. And exactly why.
Any
Michigan
quotes,
is
Eric?
less important than the Natty.
What was that part? What'd you say?
Never.
It just, you need to stop it before you started.
Why a game is less important than the Natty.
It's more important than it's ever been.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say this in defense of Alex. It is on the cover of our magazine, so it is kind of important.
This is my Natty trophy. 2025, baby.
It is not, because if we win a national championship, you would have had the national championship picture up there, not a Michigan.
That's right.
100%. You are correct, but we didn't, so I have to settle for.
That's our Natty trophy.
I'll have to settle for Brutus.
You have to settle.
Yeah.
You have to settle for an adversity.
All right. Yeah. Anyways, Tony Alford is gaslighting. We all know it. All Ohio State fans are gaslighting. Michigan fans, don't take the bait. Listen to us.
They're not that smart, Eric. Come on.
He's gaslighting you. Don't believe it. You should see the comments underneath that post on Facebook when I saw that. Michigan fans just gloating like they've already won the game. And I'm like, you guys have no idea. You have no idea.
They will believe anything he says because they idolize that guy.
And by the way, when a Michigan fan brings up Jason Beck, you go and you tell him to do this thing. Go and look at what numbers statistically Syracuse had when he was there as the offensive coordinator, and look at the very next year what Syracuse did offensively the year after he left.
Do you think they're actually going to do some homework and figure that out?
Well, unless we spoon feed it.
They're freaking blind sheep. That's all they are.
Homework is not their strong point up there.
Ryan Day's championship beard is pretty spot on, though. I think that's what they go. I mean, if you look at their schedule, they got that Oklahoma game. They play Iowa at home. They'll probably win that. And then, of course, they have to play Indiana at home. That's a loss. They have to play us at the Shoe, at Oregon. So, yeah, that's probably around what they'll be. But, of course, I see a lot of Wolverine fans every day that go, if things go right in this offensive coordinator, I could see us going 10-2, 11-1. And I'm like, okay. The year after they won
room, man.
The year after they won the Natty, they said, we're going to go 12-0 again. I said, okay.
All right, that's enough Tony talk. He's great. Let's play for you guys an audio clip of Josh. Man, Josh Pate has really been on a Ohio State kick lately on his program.
He's been under fire for a lot of things.
Yeah, he's been under fire for a lot. You're correct. But
poor guy.
A few days ago, after he says Ohio State is the king of college football. Remember him making that comment? And I said, incorrect. Alex is the king. He's the king Buckeye of college football. Get it right, buddy. He then goes on. He doubles down. He doubled down on another program, and he had this to say about Ryan Day.
Ryan Day is my number one head coach in the country right now. There is an 11-win season, a 14-win national title season, and a 12-win season over the past 3 years. He has averaged a top 5 signing class, and they've had staff churn. I mean, losing the coordinators that they've lost and then backfilling the way they have is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they kept rolling the whole time. They are just humming as an organization. And they have never finished outside the CFP top 7 in his entire run there. I know technically only going back the past 3 years, but what is this, his 8th or 9th year, something like that, Jesse? And they've never finished outside the top 7. That is a pressure spot. That is a pressure job. And there's just, even in the drought versus Michigan, which they finally erased last year, they never finished outside the top 7. It's been an unbelievable run. Ryan Day, again, it feels like ancient history when people said what he couldn't do. Oh, man, Ryan Day can't win the big one, can't get over the hump. Number one head coach in the country.
All right. Josh Pate and his top 10 coaches in college football put Ryan Day number 1. Chris, you have not exactly been the biggest Ryan Day supporter I know. Is Ryan Day the best coach in college football? And if he is not, who is?
Right now, I'm going to say yes. Ryan Day is.
Someone clip this right now. Clip it right now.
College football.
This is the same guy that said Jim Tressel wasn't a Buckeye either. So let's go with
this.
That.
This is I think the retirement.
All right, hold on. Let Chris talk.
The retirement of Nick Saban left a massive opening at the top. Ryan Day, the program he has had and the program he has run over the last, 8 years, he is the best coach in college football, despite the fact that if you look at the hardware, you could make an argument for Kirby. I don't think Kirby's team have the consistency. I don't think Kirby's teams obviously have the culture. I think Kirby's got a serious culture problem down there. The fact that he can't keep these kids from speeding down the highways and driving around drunk is a big problem.
Golly.
And honestly, outside of those two guys, who else do you have to talk about? Signetti is an ass clown with 1 year of success. 2 years of moderate success, I guess. But he's nowhere near the top coach. He hasn't had that consistency at a top level program for any length of time. Dan Lanning, why? He's very much what we talked about with Ryan Day previously, not being able to win the big games. That's been Lanning's biggest problem. Not won a chip, not winning the big games. Sarkisian can't get out of his own way. Mario Cristobal, I don't even consider in that conversation anymore. To me, I think by default, based on his success, you've got to say Ryan Day is the top guy in college football right now.
Bart, go ahead.
No, the one question you got to ask yourself is if money's not an object and you can get anybody in the game to coach your team, who would you pick? And when Nick Saban left, I thought he was a great coach. There is nobody, like Chris said, that I would ever pick. If you're, I'm a Reds fan. It's like if I want one player to pick in the MLB to play on the Cincinnati Reds, it wouldn't be anybody on the Cincinnati Reds right now. It would be Shohei Ohtani, the best player out there. So if you're asking that question of what coach you want to coach your team, I'm going with Ryan Day 100% of the time. If you his whole tenure, he's in the top 7. That's crazy. That is freaking crazy to say that every year. That's consistency, and that's multiple recruiting cycles that you've hit on. So there's no question that you ask any team who would they want, and I would say 80 to 90% would say they would want Ryan Day on their team, not including the Buckeyes. So no question, he's the best in the game right now.
Ryan Day is not the best coach in college football, and that's a large
Here
part
goes
because
Alex crying about the
Oh
A
my
game
God.
again.
and that's because he's not even the best coach in his own conference. Kirk Signetti is the best coach in the Big Ten.
Oh my
Not until
God.
you've got sustained success.
I
Alex.
understand that he's only got 2 years in, but he's done something that Ryan Day hasn't done in how many years now? 8, 9, whatever he's at now. He's won not just 15 games in a year, but 16 games in a year.
But
Ryan
Ryan
Day
Day couldn't do that.
Let's have that non-conference schedule against them, and that'd be great to have too.
Ryan Day can't seem to do that for some reason with a lot
Nobody
better
could
talent.
do that, Alex.
Indiana did it. Team Up North did it, even though they cheated.
No,
Why
they
can't
won
Ryan?
15. They didn't win 16.
I said he didn't just win 15 games. He won 16 games, Chris. I said
He
that.
did.
So why can't Ryan Day do that? Why can't Ryan Day win the Big Ten anymore? He gets in his own way too much. He hasn't reached his peak yet. And had he repeated last year, this be an easy question. I'd agree with you both. But he managed to revert back to old mistakes. And Kirk Signetti, he has coached long enough, way longer than Ryan Day, of course, to where he got all those mistakes out of the way at James Madison, at IUP, anywhere he's been before. And he's got the recipe and, of course, the funding at Indiana to be the top dog. And guess what? He's a disciple of the GOAT. So he learned from the GOAT, Nick Saban, and he coaches basically exactly like him. He's got every puzzle piece to the picture, and he's got them perfectly placed. And he has a really good opportunity at Indiana, especially with an easier schedule than Ohio State this year, to get back to the college football playoff and potentially run it back. He really does. And if he does that, boy, Ryan Day's, I don't care if Ryan Day goes 10-2, gets into the playoffs and wins a game or two. Like, if Kirk Signetti somehow gets Indiana to go back to back, boy, Ryan Day is in a world of hurt.
Talk to me in 8 years if he's had the same level of consistent success.
I think he will.
Then I will concede your point.
We'll ask Alex who won the national championship next year, and he'll say they're the best coach. You can't do it for 1 year. You can't. Whoever wins the national championship, whoever wins, Mario Cristobal could win it next year.
That's not true.
He's the best.
I wouldn't say that at all. You're putting words in my mouth.
I am not, because he's done it one time.
I wouldn't say that at all. I would not say that at all.
The year previous, he shouldn't even been in the national. He shouldn't even been in it because he got freaking blown out in the tournament.
Here's the thing. Let's say Mario Cristobal goes 15-1 next year, wins the Natty. I'd put him above Ryan Day, but I wouldn't put him above Kirk Signetti or Kirby Smart.
So if
Ryan Day is number 3 right now.
Championship next year, he would be better than Ryan Day.
Yes.
You're crazy. That's not logical.
No. Not only that, to have Kirby Smart in there is
one of the stupidest coaches out there that folds
Kirby Smart is the best coach in college football. And just because he has not won a playoff game in a few years, because he missed it and then he lost the first game in the last 2, he is still the best coach of college football. He continues to win the SEC. He has been just as consistent as Ryan Day, and he has one more natty, and he has more conference titles. He is the best coach in college football until proven otherwise. And Kirk Signetti has a real shot to start dominating the Big Ten and be neck and neck with Kirby. Ryan Day has every tool possible to do the same thing. He just has to stop getting out of his own way and get there. He could run this sport, but we saw him revert back to old mistakes in those last 2 games last year. He had me back in play, hook, line, and sinker. If you asked me the same question after the Team Up North game, I said Ryan Day's the best coach. But then I saw him revert back into his turtle shell. He has got to stop getting in his own way, and he could absolutely be the best coach of college football. I just can't agree with that after I saw what Kirk Signetti did, and I know what Kirk Signetti is capable of. You asked the question, Bart. If money wasn't a thing, who would I pick? I'd pick Kirk Signetti.
Because he got lucky. He got lucky with the.
There's no luck.
He has not developed anybody.
That's not
100% luck.
You don't go.
He hasn't developed anybody, Alex.
You don't go 60. He developed a lot of those players were from James Madison. He developed them all. He has a better eye for talent than Ryan Day does, and it was proven tenfold. It was proven tenfold. He beat us with a bunch of James Madison players, Chris.
He beat us with a checkbook, which I have no problem with the fact that he used.
We do that too. We had Jeremiah Smith.
I have no problem that he used the checkbook to buy these players because it's perfectly legal. No issue there. What I'm saying is he is not a coach. He is not a developer. He is a general manager.
Absolutely a developer, and it's proven.
He is a general manager.
And he has a great staff too. And here's the thing. He beat us with a bunch of James Madison players, and in crunch time, serious situations in a game, I've seen Signetti rise to the occasion and make the ballsy calls, knowing and trusting his players to make those plays, and it's benefited him. And what I've seen Ryan Day do, I've seen us make big plays, get to the red zone, take our best players off the field, and shoot ourselves in the foot over and over and over again. He is a more seasoned coach, and it shows every time. He came to Indiana and turned it into a juggernaut. They're going to be around, Chris. They're not going anywhere.
I don't think it's sustainable.
It is because Mark Cuban will make sure it is.
If he doesn't have the portal, he doesn't win. So don't tell me he's a great coach.
Well, now, Bart, I can't go down that road because if Ryan Day didn't have the portal, we don't win an Natty either. You don't have Q. You don't have Caleb Downs.
And the one thing I have to say is, if he was that freaking great of a coach, he wouldn't have his first chance at a Big Ten.
There you go.
Until he's 62 freaking years old. How old is Ryan Day? You tell me that Ryan Day is 45 years old.
Ryan Day was handed a job in his first head coaching job when he should have been elsewhere head coaching first before he got here. And that's why he's constantly having to learn from these mistakes on the fly at one of the hardest jobs in the country, if not the hardest job in the country.
So tell me why Signetti didn't get a great job until he's 62 if he's that freaking great of a coach.
Because he didn't have...
Is stupid? And nobody's, this is a great coach. Let's just wait till he's...
He is the only coach that Nick Saban did not help out getting a better job. And you want to know why? Because he knew Curt Signetti was a threat. He knew that.
A threat?
Oh, you are so full of it at this point.
Come on, Alex.
You are so full of it at this point.
He went 16-0. Nick Saban never even got a chance to go like 15-0, did he? No, he never did that.
But understand,
he did it at Indiana, guys. He did it at Indy freaking Anna.
Understand, this is the same guy who's praising
that is embarrassing
Kirby
for Ohio
Smart.
State.
And Kirby Smart is the fourth best in winning percentage in the country, by the way.
Whatever. He's the best coach of college football.
He's a joke. He can't even keep his.
And the only reason Dabo's not up there for me anymore is because he's fell off a cliff. Otherwise, he'd be up there above Ryan Day too still. But Ryan Day is number 3 right now. He has a chance and all the tools to get to number 1. He's just got to stop getting in his own way. And
you are trying to project the future. You are trying to rank this on projections.
If he wins if Ryan Day wins a national championship this year with this schedule that we have, he will be number 1 for me. He will go to number 1, but he won't. And if Curt Signetti somehow, with an easier schedule, obviously, than Ohio State, ends up going back to back, he's number 1. Period. You can't refute it. Not even close.
So where is he right now?
Curt Signetti's number 2.
Curt Signetti is number 5 at best.
Kirby Smart.
Kirby Smart's number 1.
You can't name me 4 other coaches better than Curt Signetti right now. You cannot.
I'll tell you right now.
That wasn't the question.
I think that Ryan Day. Well, I'll answer it.
Chris just said
Ryan Day is better. Ryan Day is better. I think Dan Lanning is better.
Oh, God. Get out of here. You just said, he can't win the big game.
He can't win the big game.
What did Curt Signetti just do? What did Curt Signetti
Curt Signetti, after 400 years in coaching,
finally
gets lucky in one season.
It took Nick Saban how long to win his first outing?
Let me tell you what this is. Curt Signetti is simply this. Curt Signetti is Kirk Ferentz who got lucky at the tables this year. That's all he is.
Give me a break. It took Nick Saban how long to win his first natty? He was coaching for 100 years too. And now
but in his 100 years, he ended up with
he's the GOAT. if we're sitting here in 5 years and Kirk Signetti has like at least 3 natties, you know how embarrassing that's going to be for Ryan Day and Ohio State. That's going to be awful for us. We should have went
Kurt
16.
Signetti will not win another national title.
He might not. He might not, because guess who might win a national title next year? Your favorite coach, Marcus Freeman.
You know,
And if Marcus Freeman wins a natty, he's right up there with Ryan Day.
Marcus Freeman is nothing.
You think so, but you're wrong.
I know so.
You're wrong.
I know so.
I will have to agree with Alex. If Signetti wins 2 more national championships, I will say, hey, he's right up there. But
yeah, I would absolutely do the same thing. I would do the same thing if he sustains success
and
wins another natty.
They go no worse than 10-2.
Until then, he is nobody.
They will be in the college football playoff again next year.
I remember talking to Alex in the 80s. Me and Alex were friends back in the day, and he said that Dixie's Midnight Runner was the greatest band ever because they had a #1 hit.
I don't even know who that is.
He also had John Cooper rated as the top coach in all of college football.
Hey, have you ever heard
You're
of Come
really putting words in my mouth. I would tell John Cooper to his face that he sucks.
You ever heard the song "Come On Eileen"? Come on, Eileen.
Yeah, I've heard that song. Yeah.
Yeah, you said they were the greatest band ever, and they had one hit wonder. So yeah, Signetti's a one.
Mambo Number 5 was a pretty good song.
Yeah.
So can I ask?
Hey, wait a minute. Who sang that?
God.
Somebody who's about as irrelevant as Kurt Signetti.
20 years, nobody's going to know who Kurt Signetti is because he won 1 national championship.
There you go.
Same thing. So there you go.
Can I ask?
The statue built of him outside of Indiana. Of course, everybody's going to know who he is.
No, they won't, because Indiana will be back the same place they were 10 years from now.
In 2 years, he's their best coach ever.
If you ask,
in 10 years, they'll all be the same.
Hold on. If you ask, hold on. Listen. All right, hold on. Let me take the show back over. If you ask Indiana fans right now, who do they love more, Kurt Signetti or Bobby Knight? Who do you think they say?
Bobby Knight.
Oh no, they're going to say Kurt Signetti because they've never had success in football.
It's fresh.
And it's fresh.
It depends who you ask, Eric. I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, the real Indiana fans
idiots.
will say they're this. Because they're known as a basketball school, and of course he won 5 natties there, so of course he's going to be there. But then they're going to be like, well,
I think it was that many.
3? Well, I don't know. I know they have 5 national championships in total. I don't know if he was responsible for all of them. But regardless, Kurt Signetti for them is right here now, because they're like, oh, we're good in football now. This guy's getting the statue.
I'll tell you right now, Alex, if Kurt Signetti doesn't go undefeated this year, he should be ridiculed and made fun of.
Why?
Because their schedule is softer than Michigan's was their national championship year.
Terrible.
I don't think I agree with that. Hold on, let me bring it up.
Well, you can be wrong.
Yeah.
All right. I haven't even given my.
Okay, Vanilla Ice. What's your take on that?
The vanilla pod.
This schedule's tougher than 2023 Team Up North. It's way tougher.
All right, listen.
What do you think, Eric?
Listen, Linda. It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock somewhere. Yeah. I'm going to give you my answer over on Patreon. So you're going to have to go be a Patreon member if you want to hear if I agree with Chris and Bart, or does the Podfather agree with King Buckeye on this one. You'll have to go over to Patreon.
Let's just say if you agree with King Buckeye, this is me and Chris's last time in the Ohio podcast. So let's go there.
Are you threatening me?
That's a threat because
Vader understands. No one understands better than Vader.
Biased Buckeye fans think this way. Realistic Buckeye fans know that Kurt Signetti has topped Ryan Day for now.
1 freaking year. Come on.
16-0.
All right, let me ask
16-0.
Bart. Hold on, guys. Bart, Chris, let me ask you guys a question.
Yes.
And I want you to ponder this.
Okay.
And then we'll go over to Patreon and we will continue the discussion over there. You all know my love for the sweater vest. One of the greatest human beings to ever bless our presence with. Okay. Do you think his time at Youngstown State should be credited to his overall success as a football coach and be counted towards how you think of him as a Division I FBS coach? Or do you think that his time at Youngstown State should not count? Answer me that question when we go over to Patreon. This was a great, lively discussion for the last 20 minutes. We will continue this over on Patreon. The link is down in the notes. Should we open it up to everybody tonight? Should we continue this and say, hey,
Go ahead. Give everybody a free pass on this one.
A free pass tonight.
Give
you don't have to be a member.
Tonight.
You can be.
Because they're going to want to hear this.
Yeah, I want everybody to yell at King Alex tonight.
Okay.
So, yeah, that'd be great.
So you don't have to be a paying member tonight. You can sign up for the free membership. Give us 5 minutes. We will be over on Patreon. We will continue the discussion there. We'll be back Sunday night here on YouTube at 8 o'clock Eastern, everybody. And we'll have some videos tomorrow, Saturday, before then. We'll see you all here on YouTube Sunday night, 8 o'clock. We'll see you over on Patreon in 5 minutes. Link down in the discussion below. Good night.